Two. Yep, let's go.
Hello and welcome to episode number 49 at the Indie Football Podcast. And I'm just gonna say I am a person who loves numbers, and 49 is a whole square for the number 7. And the reason I give this mathematics lesson is because I just hope I have a bit more of the attention for all Ronaldo fans for this podcast. But I mean, I would just love to, we have Deep Raja with us tonight, and what I would love to start off by this episode saying is that we have had quite a few Liverpool fans with us throughout the journey of this podcast, and every single fan has got something unique about them. So I could not have been more excited to welcome Deep here in this space. Hello, Deep. Thank you for being here. How are you feeling tonight?
Hello, Dwai and Anukash. Thank you for having me here. It's an absolute pleasure. And actually, this is my first podcast ever
Oh,
appearing
okay.
on any podcast. Yeah. So
Yeah,
today,
we just I
feeling great after that Liverpool win, which was nervy, thanks to the long
yeah.
throw-ins by
Yeah,
Nottingham.
right.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
mean, yeah, Deep, bhai, please go ahead. What I say?
no, so that's what. So the spirits are high right now, and I don't have too many hopes for uh, getting top four though. But still,
Yeah,
two
Same,
wins
same.
in a row
yeah.
is not
That is
not a
something
bad
that we are
concern.
going to also talk about in a bit more detail. Anukar sir,
Yeah.
it's a great day to have a Liverpool fan on our podcast, especially because, as Deep Bhai mentioned, it's a day when Liverpool has won, and we have not had many of those in the recent past few months, right?
Yeah, having a Liverpool fan after Liverpool win, there was a point of time when I thought that, that should be like the role for us, having a Liverpool fan. But that way we would have been able to have just 10, 12 guests this year. So it's good that that isn't the
Actually,
rule. And yeah, but jokes apart, Deep bhai, great to have you here. Honestly, like I would like to tell our viewers and the ones who are listening that Deepai has been very active with us on our IG page, and not even just the football. He has been very active with Doi in discussing the IPL, and I'm sure
Yeah,
even Doi has a slight
love it.
soft corner for Deepai because he always
Absolutely.
loves a guest who loves talking about cricket. So yeah, welcome to the
yeah.
show. And great having you here, especially in times when Liverpool have finally got back to winning ways. And hope you have a great time here, man.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely looking forward to our discussion tonight.
Yeah, so Deep Bhai, I just if you have followed any or heard any of our episodes before, we start off with the usual stuff where we are going to ask you why are you a
Correct.
Liverpool fan amongst all other clubs that were available. But I must say, even though it's a question that has become a bit trite, but the answers every single time kind of blow away our minds. So please tell us why this love with Liverpool and how has this connect been established for all these years.
So I remember, shifting from one place to another, leaving all my friends and everyone, even though it was 10 minutes away, but I was still alone. And I
Hmm.
remember very well that during that particular period, say around 2001 something, Premier League was broadcasted in India,
Yeah.
and and they used to show all these matches, United, Arsenal, Liverpool, but somehow I was always watching Liverpool games, and there was an instant connect with Liverpool that time, and so I was always looking forward, checking the newspaper for the match timings, what day it is, when it is, and I used to watch those games, especially Liverpool games. Although I did enjoy watching the rivalry of United and Arsenal during that time when Arsenal were the Invincibles. So
Yeah, I mean, Anukar sir, I'll say that by listening to this answer that Deep has given us, not that we want to make Deep Bhai feel very old, but I think we are just very grateful to have all these matches on the tip of our fingers, and we don't have to probably scamper through newspapers to look for timings and all. It just makes us feel that we are living in a completely different time as a Liverpool fan, or as a matter of fact, as any other team's fan, right, Anuka sir?
Definitely, man. I mean, honestly, what I have seen over the past few years is Liverpool have been in much better form. But I understand, what Deep Bhai is trying to say, because I remember, like, back when I started watching Liverpool, that was in 2006. I myself feel very old when I think about it. And honestly,
Okay.
going through that time, Liverpool was like, I mean, top four was such a big deal for us. Now, top four is like the bare minimum. There was a time getting top four was like the big thing for us, that oh, we got top four, oh, we are fighting for a top four. Getting the title was another level. It didn't seem like a possibility, honestly. Though we had that season under Rafa Benitez, where we almost won the title, but it seemed very much like a one-off sort of a season. It again happened in during the time of Brendan Rodgers, but again, like under
Correct.
Klopp, things have been much better, and we are being linked to all these midfielders. I mean, I know I don't think we are going to spend much again, but the fact is being linked to all these players, it feels great, honestly. And talking about being linked with players, Deepai, I haven't dealt with it well. I think it's been my biggest heartbreak. And what I would like to say is that it hurts me every day thinking about it. How have you coped? How do you cope up thinking about that Jude Bellingham won't be a Liverpool player this summer?
To be honest, to be very honest, I mean, I didn't expect it to happen
Okay.
because, as
The
we know, the
realist, huh?
history of
Realistic,
FSG, yeah,
realistic. हाँ,
real.
अच्छी बात, हाँ.
So, supporting Liverpool all these years has made me a realist. Earlier,
Right.
I used to hope
Hmm.
that, yes, we'll get so every window we are linked with around 40, 50, maybe 60 players. We end
सही
up
बात है.
getting one, two, three, not more than that.
Right.
So,
And out of those two, three, एक young player होता है, एक बहुत expensive signing
uh,
होती है, one is a very average सी signing, you know, don't know, मतलब ना,
Yeah.
30,
I mean,
40
uh,
million वाली.
I feel
someone
being a
like
Liverpool
Asaidi.
fan is, yeah, I mean, I feel being a Liverpool fan, there's never a dull moment. So I will
Yeah.
move ahead and ask Deep भाई कि आप अपने favorite player के बारे में बताएं. Who has been your favorite player, and probably what has been that particular thing about your favorite player that you feel that, yeah, this is why probably I support Liverpool as well.
So for me, it was always Steven Gerrard, the way he used to
Yeah,
Hmm.
lead the team, taking the bull by the horns in difficult moments, especially in 2005 during the Champions League against Olympiacos, and then in the final against Milan, and then again next year against West Ham, the 90th
yeah.
90th injury time equalizer, and
So, as
yeah.
soon as you mentioned Steven Gerrard, I saw this beaming smile in Anukar sir's face, and I will just fill you up with this, Deep Bhai. When we started this episode 15 months ago, it was about, of course, we want to make a podcast, and within the first couple of months, I just knew how much Anukarsh loves Steven Gerrard more than anyone else on this planet, and he's just
Yeah.
ever since I've heard so many stories about Steven Gerrard being, taking Liverpool here, there. So Anukar sir, it's just, I'm sure it's just magical to find another person who loves Steven Gerrard as much as you do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I have said this story a lot of times on the podcast, Deep bhai, that
Hmm.
I remember I was in class sixth or fifth or sixth class, and our English teacher gave us the title of my favorite hero, and like people used to write
Wow.
about the father, and I
Hmm.
like my father is my hero too. But yeah, I by the time she was done just saying it, I had already written 2 pages, and then she was like, "Let's just change the topic. Let's just keep it to something else." And I was so upset. I was so upset that day, because the thing is, I have so much to say about Steven Gerrard. I loved him so much, and I still do. And fun moment, like a lot of us, it's on Twitter actually a lot, that Steven Gerrard's son today accompanied Mohamed Salah
Mohamed Salah.
while coming on the pitch, right? And it was such
Yes.
a nice moment,
Oh,
such a nice photo.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I think like there's some sort of nepotism which we are all okay with as fans, like Ajit Tendulkar playing for Mumbai Indians, like
yeah.
Steven Gerrard, I
True.
mean, that is the kind of nepotism you don't even mind, you actually like it. I mean, part
Like
of
it.
you
Yeah.
wants Ajit Tendulkar to succeed, part of you wants Steven Gerrard's son to succeed, so you want to do that. And honestly, that Olympiacos win, as you mentioned, I think Liverpool wouldn't have won the title, won the Champions League that season if not for that goal. And
Goal.
those are
Yeah,
the moments that define. And definitely, like Steven Gerrard is one of the greats. May it be his performance in the FA Cup final, and like I can go about speaking, but then we would have to make
speaking.
the
Yeah,
show 2 hours.
Yeah, but
But
and
all right. This is something
and
interesting. I mean, for someone who does not know much about Liverpool and Steven Gerrard, Anukash Bhai has literally successfully instilled a feeling of FOMO inside me. You know that I probably have missed something out there. But Deep Bhai, now let's talk about the current season. Maybe let's start about the match that just happened tonight a few hours ago. 0-0 at the break with little in the way of goal scoring chances. You know,
yeah,
both coaches must have given their squad some rousing team talks, huh? As the game really exploded to life after the restart. So, you know, the win now puts Liverpool into sixth. So, Deep Bhai, how is the
seventh,
and
seventh place,
oh
seventh place.
sixth, seventh
seventh.
position? All right,
Yeah.
sorry, my bad. But still, I think it's a very fascinating upward graph. Deep
Yeah.
Bhai, how is the fan in you feeling today?
So I'm feeling good, not too optimistic about getting top four, but if we do, then
Hmm.
it will be a miracle, definitely.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
and if you look at the points, we are still 6 points off fourth place, which is Newcastle right now, and they
Yeah.
still have a game in hand, I think, I believe.
So, Anukar sir, I did some stats digging and numbers into, what does this win really mean. I just looked at like Liverpool now have lost only one of their previous 36 Premier League games against newly promoted sides at Anfield. You know, winning each of their last five matches, scoring 20 goals during that run. What did you make of today's play, especially? And I do understand a certain amount of fascination that you have for Jota. You know, we if someone who follows our Instagram, Anukar sir has been making some amazing reels around
Yeah,
them.
Uh,
Also, anything that just slightly resembles with Jota, Anukar sir finds that connect and makes a Instagram reel,
I,
which I feel is very creative.
I know.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
tell us more about today's performance and how Liverpool for you has been recently.
Yeah, slight apologies for to some of our viewers for rhyming Jota's name with Jata the Shora. I know, I mean it's not the best thing to do and not the classiest, but yeah, sometimes we just do things for the love of it. And
Yeah,
jokes apart, actually, see, honestly, like Jota is someone I want to really succeed because honestly, like what I really like about Jota and what I really liked about him always is that he won't be be the best player on the pitch. He will just be having a really bad game or a very average game, then suddenly he will just spring into life. And that's what I
yeah,
love about Jota, that he's into those clutch moments. And
so
I was
he'll
for
have
the
sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
So
no,
Hey, go
no,
ahead, go ahead.
even if he's having a match on 5 on 10 or 6 on 10, but
yeah.
he'll still get that goal which we need.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. For the past 1 year, he hadn't scored because of injuries and a lot of things. And
Yeah,
there had been people calling for his head and just saying that, he should be sold to
sold off.
Newcastle
Yeah,
and this, that. And honestly, a part of me had maybe started to agree with it, although I was a bit hurt by it because you always felt that after Mane, Salah, and Firmino, Jota was kind of the first big forward to come in. Like I know
yeah,
Gakpo, Diaz, and Nunez have come in since then, but he was the first big forward, and he actually showed the difference.
yeah.
Who someone who could play in all the three positions, and I love his versatility. I just, love he's always just going for it, and how he is, an absolute poacher. So again, enough about Jota, and yeah. So of course, it's great to see him back, and Liverpool too. I mean, being 1-0 up, it always felt it could be a draw. 2-0 up, 2-1 up, it always felt it could again be a draw. But to actually win that match and with the throw-ins, I just feel that it's really good, and these are the kind of wins you need to have a good position at the end of the season. And I
Yeah.
just hope, though I am not really, very sad, really, thinking that
Confident.
that might happen. Yeah, confident about it. But I really feel that it is something that could propel us and maybe, just maybe, push us into the top four.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
go
call
ahead, go
him
ahead, Deep.
Dio. So like Anukash calls him Jota the Slaughter.
Hmm.
I call him Dio Goal. Diogol
Huh.
Jota. So
Diogo Jota.
last year, if you, I'm not sure if you know, but last year people used to call. I think there were a couple of goals when Simicas crossed and Jota scored. So they used to call
Huh.
it semi cross to Diogol.
Huh. Right.
Semi-cross
Right.
to the
Yeah,
so I think it's yeah, it's just becoming an episode of puns, huh? Jota the Chora, Diogo, semi-cross to, so there's different kinds of things going on right here, which is I think I
yeah.
which is what I was speaking at the beginning of the episode about being unique. I think the unique aspect of this episode has to be this. But Deep Bhai, something that I found very interesting in what Anukash Bhai just spoke, and I also wanted to ask you, since you have been
Hmm.
someone who has followed Liverpool for so long, and the life, and of course it's true not only for Liverpool fan but also fans for other clubs. When a player does not do well for a period of time, even the most passionate fans of a particular club start asking questions, they start raising whether the credibility of the player is good enough. So what do you make of this entire situation? Do you feel that the fans are a bit too impatient, or some players maybe get a bit of a longer rope, or the answer lies somewhere in between? How do you see the entire thing from your lens?
So from my lens, one thing that you are right that there are some players which, for example, right now Klopp is the manager, so he has bias towards some players, and he'll give them a long rope. So for currently, if you see Curtis Jones, I hate that player to be honest. He hasn't grown. He hasn't grown, and still he's
Uh,
getting games. And
in the last few games, he hasn't been that bad though. Like,
that bad,
I,
yeah. But even KL Rahul, if you know, he plays one good game in 50 games. So that doesn't mean
I am putting
that he's
out
a
a
great
reel.
player.
I am putting out a reel just for this segment. I promise you
Because
So,
that.
but
so
yeah,
that
I mean, I do get Deep. So, continue with what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what. So for example, Klopp, people.